So, really quick. I'm looking at the Eevees. I got the Sylveon and the Vaporeon for Christmas. Where did I get the Leafeon again? Who got me that for which holiday?
I got you, Sylveon.
You got me Leafeon for my birthday.
I did.
That's right. I was like, I couldn't put a name to a face for a second. I was like, where did I get one of those?
I texted Kaylin in like November and I said, which evolution do you want? And she sent me the most pixel-assed picture in the world. I couldn't even see what the fuck. I was like, okay, the blue one, because they were so pixelated that I couldn't tell what they actually were.
I sent
and I
her
was
a
like, what is this
screenshot of the
picture?
actual Pokemon like evolution wheel, and I crossed off the ones I didn't
And it
have.
was so
and
low
circled.
quality.
It must have sent over bad, but it was fine.
It was like looking at an old TV. Bro, when we went to, did I tell you when we went to that thrift store in, in Lakewood after we went to that rock store, and they had an old TV, the static kind. I said, Kinsey, rub your hand on
She said,
it.
rub your finger on.
I said, Kinsey,
Bro,
come
this
here.
cool ass. What was it called?
I don't know, but it was super cool. It was like a old school thrift, like.
Yeah, dude, they had really cool jackets and hoodies, and they were so affordable.
It was like
they
one
were
of those
20 bucks or less.
thrift stores where they like get like really high end stuff and they fix it up. Like we're talking like old like Kent stuff, like Cleveland memorabilia.
They had
like
Winnie the
some
Pooh
cool
jackets.
Shit. Yeah, I also have a gripe that I've discovered that is stealing my aesthetic. I'm over here like, I love Winnie the Pooh, especially Eeyore, and she's like, yeah, Eeyore's actually his favorite, and I'm like,
oh, she does the same shit with me. Like,
but I'm just coming to the realization that he's stealing. Like, for now on, Kinsey is not going to see Eeyore and be like, I should buy that from Mariah.
Well, I
how do you
originally
feel
saw
about
it and
when?
didn't think about you.
How do you feel about when I decide to start collecting specifically woodland ones? Not saying that it's a unique idea, but woodland squishmallows to decorate my bedroom with, and I have no deer, no mooses, and I've been keeping an eye out for them. Also, they have to be natural colored. Like, don't bring me a yellow moose up in here.
But
I'm
I feel like some of the
moose.
stuff I like are very niche because there were other stuff. Do you remember any of the other stuff? You like told me something like
so there's
they're very niche stuff.
There's
like that's who really like who stands Eeyore over here.
I don't know. I feel like our parents' generation were like Winnie the Pooh stands, like,
and like I'm over here like I love
Eeyore
Super
edition.
Smash. Pigs. I love pigs. I've always identified with pigs my whole life. I'm like my grandma's got pig farm. I've had stuffed pigs. My first fucking Webkins was a pig, and Kinsey's like, yeah, he actually loves pigs, and I'm like, okay, next. Like, damn, can I have my own identity? I don't know if it's like the Virgo rising or what.
I don't
but
want
like,
Kinsey to have her identity. It's just a share.
Kaylin likes to take my skin
she wants
off
to
of
live
me
in your skin
and leaves my, corpse in a hole and then puts the skin on and then goes out into the world.
You're like a reptile that's like shedding, and Kaylin's like,
oh
yes.
yeah, no, that's a
Yes.
better one.
I'm taking some of this to put on my
She
skin.
wears it as a jacket.
Yeah.
You know how
I'm like,
lizards
you know what? Greek mythology sounds pretty cool now that I've actually thought of it for the first time in my 20s.
You know how like lizards will like completely molt
Yeah.
and like it's like it looks like a whole ass animal still attached. It's not like in sections. Sometimes that happens, but I'm saying
Let me
and then
make
Kaylin
a better
just goes and
analogy.
crawls
Stitching
up in
it up.
Yeah, she's like,
No, let me make a better analogy. Like, let's say you're this beautiful, like, I'm picturing this, like, beautiful lizard or whatever. No, just hear me out. You're a lizard. Like, maybe a big one. Think of, like, bearded dragon, except for, like, that size, okay? You scale, shed, whatever. You go away. I'm this little gecko, like, and I come up and I go inside it, and I'm trying to get it to fit, and I'm like, yes, I'm the bearded.
That's literally Kaylin.
Yes. Well, every time you say I want to wear your skin, I think about that meme you sent me of
Oh, you
Patrick
said that
and
to
SpongeBob.
me.
Oh, wait,
And
I sent it to you.
Yes.
Yeah. Of Patrick and SpongeBob, they switched skins.
Oh
and
yes.
They were wearing them, and
Yeah,
I
it's
was
like
that's
yellow
you.
starfish and a pink sponge.
It's fine.
That's fucking you, bitch.
I just thought my identity was pretty niche, and now I'm finding out that someone's coming
You're
for my
a basic
brand.
bitch, you
Like-
and him.
Like here I am liking Eeyore pigs, Super Smash, the woods.
Would you pet a pig?
The woods.
I pet
Yeah,
the pig
I
at the
have-
farm park. Did you?
My grandma has a pig farm. I
don't
pet a
like-
lot of
rubbed it
I
pigs.
don't
belly.
like real pigs. They
They don't-
scare.
they-
Unless
they-
they're like cute little ones. I don't like.
They're very
them.
large and they're not soft,
Yeah, their
No, they're
hair's
not. It's
thick.
like skin.
and obviously they smell.
And they'll eat you.
And they've
'Cause they're
never seen the
omnivores.
sky.
Didn't you know that, Kaylin?
I'm just saying, I'm the
They'll
only
eat
one
you.
at the farm park who's rubbing that pig's belly
Okay,
when they
congrats!
want
I've
it.
touched them my whole life. I don't enjoy touching them.
You know you're not supposed to lay down next to pigs because they'll eat you.
I didn't lay down next
Let
to
Did
it.
you know that?
Let them.
Hey,
None
remember?
of y'all are surprised.
Remember the story I told on the
Not
podcast
surprised.
about how I had to herd the goat back in it? Remember?
Yes.
That was fucking fun.
I was
That
like, "Hey,
funny.
you."
So,
and-
Kaylin, you're not frightened that if you laid down next to a pig, it would eat you?
I think that you're
Like,
being
slowly.
dramatic.
No.
Watch how
I'm
your
not.
cord is. You can pull the table closer.
I'm not saying like a pig would attack you like a bear. I'm saying if you lay down and fell asleep, it would start chewing on
Say
you.
munch munch.
I think you're
It would
being
start
dramatic.
fucking
Munch,
chewing
munch,
on
munch.
you.
I don't believe you.
And if there's
Well,
I think
I'll
if
look
I
at
was
the video.
dead,
Hold on, let me look it up.
hold on. If it was a pet,
Oh.
domesticated pig, I don't think it would if it was well fed. I think if it's a hungry or wild pig, yeah.
No,
Hold on,
pigs
no.
eat even when they're full, dude.
Yeah.
They don't have a capacity.
I just don't believe it.
Okay.
When they're not either squealing or talking, pigs will eat almost anything, including humans. A farm in Oregon was eaten by his pigs after having a heart attack and falling into their enclosure. By the time a concerned relative came looking for him, only his dentures were left.
That's crazy. Imagine just like having a heart
I'm
attack
in
and your
shock.
pigs eat you.
It says it'll also eat your bones.
Yeah, I like your My Little Ponies up there on the windowsill. I actually really like that.
Thank you. I got.
You know what I feel like right now? I feel like I'm in unpacking. Yeah. When we discovered we could put stuff on the windowsill, game
Why'd
changer.
that bitch put her shoes in like a kitchen box?
I never
and
finished
then in
the
a
game.
bathroom one.
I'm gonna have to try to finish it later.
It's not that long.
I know, but I got overwhelmed when the girlfriend moved in and I had to move all their shit together. I was like, listen, I just put this apartment together and
I
now
will say the
now
second
you
time
wanna
it's
move
less
in?
overwhelming because I could like
you
foresee it.
planned for it, yeah. But I didn't know when I knew she was gonna come eventually, but I didn't know I thought I was gonna get a new home. So like I set up the house to how I wanted it to be set up, and then this girlfriend moves in, and I'm like, hold on.
Literally, me with Colin moving
Yeah.
in, and I'm unprepared, and then
I was like,
halfway in the year, I have to
my
move
shelves
it.
are full, but now you're bringing 8 video games, and like they don't look good next to my 8 video games.
Yeah,
And I
you
don't
have
have room.
you got the new system. I had the old
Yeah.
system.
And the
Ready,
biggest
guys?
complaint
I gotta
is-
read this to you. It's about pigs. Are you ready?
No, it's gonna be a
All
weird
right,
fact.
this is some person on Reddit. One of the single most terrifying experiences of my life was when I was a farm manager of the piggery next door to my property. Oh no, sorry guys, I can't fucking read. Shut up. Why can't
No
I
one
tell a
said
story right
anything.
now? I want to kill myself. Whatever. Some property was abandoned. The place when he wasn't paid by the owner and left the pigs for 2 weeks without being fed. Like straight up, he just up and left them pigs there, right?
Yeah.
After a week and a half, I noticed an unforgettably sickly stench, an increasingly loud, desperate screaming of pigs. When I went to investigate, I got about halfway across the pig pens, a nightmare scene of pigs cannibalizing each other in sheer desperation like some horror story, until they noticed that I was there, and then every pig still alive saw me as food. I had to literally run for my life while being chased by ravenous pigs that were determined to make me a meal. I couldn't eat pork for almost 10 years after that. Hungry pigs will eat almost anything,
Damn, bro.
humans included. Just a matter of being Caitlin,
Well, if
did you
you-
not know this? There is a horror. Okay, there's an episode in Criminal Minds with a man who would kill his victims by letting his pigs eat them. And I remember watching it because he had a big old pen of pigs, and he'd starve them. And he had this like diving board kind of thing above them, and he'd throw his victims in there, and they'd eat them alive. And I remember thinking, is this real? And
That's
it
wild.
fucking is. So,
I
what's your
literally
review?
have
What do you
chills.
think?
That's crazy. But
I
also,
thought this was a
shouldn't have
friendly
been
week.
starving.
I thought this week was supposed to not be the dark week.
That's why I don't
Yeah.
fucking like pigs.
other than that, the potbelly pigs are cute.
You know, the imagery of them are cute, and the little ones are cute.
I like
I'll
when
give
they're
'em that.
when they have the plushies and the tail goes like this.
Goes like squizzle.
Yeah. Also, when they're not like okay,
Squiggle,
hear
squiggle.
me out. Hear me
It's a little
out.
coil. It's like my hair. Pull it.
And I want to finish my whole thought before anybody
We'll
interjects.
debate.
You can debate after, but let me finish my whole thought. Firstly, like if a pig is like I've seen pet pigs, if they're well fed and like they're never starving, like or whatever, they're as smart as dogs and they're cool. But
Do you have a
think about this. No, think about this. What if pigs were the humans and they farmed people and they ate us on the regular, and then our farmer pig neglected us and left us in the pens and we had nothing else to eat?
So we ate the pigs.
No, yeah, we turn on the pigs. I'm just saying in a alternate universe.
Do you have a bra on?
No.
Okay.
When I came out, my nipples were looking
Well, that's why
straight
I
at
asked,
you.
But then I saw you moving your arm and your boobs were like some shenha.
Sometimes I go upstairs with no bra on, and I feel like your grandma notices, and I like hunch over.
No, listen. Before
oh wait,
I
the way
lived
they
with
are
you,
moving. Hold on. That's funny.
Anyway, before I live with you, because obviously I respect you and I put pants on, but before that I would leave my room all the time in like a tank top and just my underwear, and I'm like, hey grandma, just making some eggs real quick, going back to my room. Obviously if I'm walking around the house I'll put clothes on, but if I'm just making eggs and going back in my room, I'm doing that. She's not
You got
judging
some
you.
balls.
Yeah, and I have a brother too. What I was saying though is unpacking the part that I get the
what I was
mad
saying is in an alternate universe where
literally-
pigs are the farmers.
was literally the kitchen. The kitchen
So
was the
y'all-
worst part because there was in the room when the girlfriend moves in, the kitchen already has no room and it wouldn't let me put anything on the stove, which I understand. But why can't the cutting board temporarily go on the stove?
So y'all are talking
Oh, yeah,
about
that's
an unpacking game with a fake ass bitch when we could be talking about unpacking my apartment.
Anyway, and now they're making another game that's like unpacking but in the trailer.
That's pretty cute.
Yeah, I know.
Kinsey,
So Kinsey,
we have only been loving, supportive, of
Do you
course.
think I should stick mine under the stairs?
yeah, and I want Bean to bring my Hogwarts letter.
She said she
But
said something.
she
so
can't,
Wouldn't that be
she can't
so
take her
cute?
socks off in
She
there.
said
It'll stink it up.
She said she wants Bean to have a cute little collar on with her letter attached to it, and she wants him to walk up to him.
Yeah,
and give him his
and I
little
want to be
letter.
like, oh my god, my Hogwarts letter.
And then that's her pet that she'd take to Hogwarts because you can bring a cat.
yeah,
That's funny. What
That's the only
Hogwarts
thing I
pet would
know
I have?
about Harry Potter because
ferret?
I didn't watch anything after that.
Is that a Hogwarts pet?
No, I don't think so.
Well, then pick one that they're allowed. You could
Ripley.
bring.
A
No,
rat. You're
a
allowed to bring
rat.
rats. You'd have a rat.
I would have a rat.
I'd have a cat.
Or bird.
I would
I'm a bird
equally,
bitch too.
I would equally
have an
want an
owl.
owl or a cat. I don't know how I would pick one
I think a little
because
parakeet
the
would come at you
owls
and be
are
like,
cool.
"Ah."
I actually think I would have an owl because, like I said, bird bitch.
You know, if you think about it, owls are hard to get as pets. So if I had the opportunity, I would want an owl because it's not that easy to have an owl as a pet right now.
Mhm.
You mean in real life?
Yeah.
You know what
I only
Mono
want Bean.
Crosco said? He's the one who had the Birds of Prey drawing course at Lightbox,
Yeah.
and he had the red-tailed hawk that he was letting everybody figure draw. You know what he said about owls?
Huh.
He said they dumb as fuck, and that's why we can't keep them as pets.
Wait,
He said
what
that
do
if
you
you try to
mean?
he said that people who have owls and hunt with owls like they do with red-tailed hawks, they like fly into trees and shit. Like they
Poor
hit
guys.
trees. They forget they were ever owned. Like if you sit there and release it to go hunting with it, like you would a red-tailed hawk who's intelligent and associates you with food. They have like a 2-second memory. They're like, what?
Damn, so they'll be like, oh shit, I live in this tree.
Yeah,
remember?"
imagine trying to send a letter from Hogwarts to your parents. Dumb forgot.
They said, wait, I was your pet girl? Halfway there, they were like, look at this creek.
Yep, exactly. That's
Damn.
Colin. It's a bird.
What are we looking at? What
It was
the
just funny.
fuck?
Anyway, Kinsey, what are you sharing with us this week?
Wait, you always get to ask.
Well, beat you. It sucks. Daytime Star just dropped.
Well, I didn't want to be rude because sometimes I mess up. Sometimes I'm like, hey, what are we watching? And you guys are like, not yet. We're not at that part.
You can do whatever you want.
I'm just saying, you guys do that, and it's
Well, because maybe
intimidating.
maybe you've said it when we were in the middle of like talking about something random, and we were like, we're not ready. But it's okay. Today we were ready. The conversation ended. You've interjected sometimes. I'm like, yeah, you're right. I had something else dumb pointless to say, but let's move on. Would you like to ask?
I would.
Okay, I'm not cutting any of that from the pod.
I know.
Continue.
Just lower my volume at that part, like highlight it and lower it because that might pop people's ears.
What is wrong?
Kinsey, what are we watching? What are we watching?
We are reviewing Adventure Time.
Woo!
But I was dumb and I didn't pick my favorite episodes, so we watched the first 5 and I forgot that they weren't amazing in comparison
And you
to the
showed
rest.
random episodes.
So then I
and
showed
it-
like
it's
2
your whole
new
life.
other ones.
Well, we could always do a part 2 later.
We can do a part
Yeah,
2.
we will
We
definitely do a
watched
part
like
2.
6 episodes.
I'll add in
total.
the Excel sheet. That
No,
we
we
need a part
watched more
2.
than that. We watched the first 5 and then we watched
No, we watched the first 4.
and we watched 3 other ones after that. Ones
We
that I
watched 2 other
chose.
ones.
Mariah, I'm gonna need your
Oh, sorry.
Mariah, this is you. That was you.
My attention span is slacking today because I was very hyper focused all day
So-
today with you.
I know.
I did
You were,
good.
she was helping me. I'll tell you about that later. Anyways, questions to ask you guys. Number 1, based off of what you've seen so far, who is your favorite character?
Well, Kaylin's
out of
seen
the
more
characters you've
than I've
seen.
seen.
Okay,
that's-
you can say your extended knowledge, Kaylin.
I can say my extended knowledge. I think it's always been Marceline for me personally,
'Cause you're
but
getting-
I
We're here
kin
for the
Jake.
queers.
I kin Jake, and I want to kin Rainbow Lady Rainicorn,
Uh-huh.
but I know I don't kin Lady Rainicorn. I know I kin Jake.
Yeah, you're Jake. He's a generator. He just does his thing. And
Mhm.
things happen to him.
Who do I kin?
Marceline.
I think she's BMO, like that's her Cancer moon, and then her Scorpio sun would be Marceline. Absolutely, she's so
And her
vindictive.
Virgo rising's Princess Bubblegum.
Yeah, yeah.
I like Bebo. He was funny. He was just there.
Yeah, that's
You
why
haven't
when
seen
I
his
looked
other
up
stories
BMO
'cause he's funny.
episodes, I looked up BMO episodes to try to find one to show you, and I was like, actually, BMO's just presence in
Yeah, I'm
all
not
of the
gonna
episodes are
lie.
what's funny.
In a lot of
Mhm.
cartoons, I do like the random side character that just has a little commentary here and there. I'm like, that was
Good
funny.
one-liners, yeah.
Like the one-liners really make it sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Who's your favorite, dude?
BMO's my favorite character. Jake's
Yeah.
close second because I think he's fucking hilarious. Like, if
Mhm.
you ask me who's funniest in the show, I think Jake's the funniest. But
Mhm.
I just love BMO. I have a BMO AirPod case, by the way.
Switch case or switch stand.
What?
Your Bemo switch stand.
I
too.
also have a BMO Switch stand. I don't really play my Switch, but we'll be using it eventually, especially with the new Zelda game coming out. But yeah, I love BMO. I just think he's so cute. I got BMO socks. It's pretty cool.
You know what I think is cute about BMO too is it's the same voice actress as Lady Rainicorn, and
Oh, yeah,
Lady
that's funny.
Rainicorn and BMO. Lady Rainicorn speaks in Korean, and then BMO kind of
What?
has a Korean
Yeah.
accent.
Wait, she didn't speak English?
No, she doesn't.
You don't hear her speaking
there's
full
a
ass
whole-
Korean?
I only saw her speak like.
No, she was
There's
straight
a
up talking
whole-
to Jake about 7 Minutes in Heaven. She's like
Eh.
speaking Korean.
There's a whole
I didn't process
episode
that.
where Jake. The thing is, he just hangs out with her. He never knows what she's saying. And there's
That's
a whole
hilarious.
episode where they try to find a voice translator for her so that they can speak to each other. And they find one at the bottom of the ocean, and they go get it, and it's an old man's voice. So she speaks to him in English, but with an old man
That
voiceover.
is so funny. I did not process her. I mean, I remember her speaking, but I didn't process it like that.
Hold on, let's
You just
look it
thought she
up.
was maybe speaking like Animal Crossing.
I don't know what I was thinking. I mean,
Hold on.
she only spoke for a split second in the closet, and that was it.
Let me look it up.
Yeah, I like Bemo. Bemo was cute. I like that he's a little small guy.
Ready?
Mhm.
Oh, wait, what the fuck?
I liked Jake.
This is an ad. Hold on.
I felt bad because Kinsey was saying, she's like, I feel like you didn't enjoy it. I was like, well, we only watched a couple episodes, and like, obviously, like, I'm not like a huge Cartoon Network person like you guys are, but I'm sure if I kept. I don't think she spoke that much in the episodes. I didn't register.
No, she didn't. No, you definitely wouldn't have heard it because it was just the first
Yeah, and I
couple
would have
episodes.
noticed that.
But there's other episodes where she's straight up fucking speaking.
She's popping off like a gorilla.
Yes, and for quite a long time, especially that
Mhm.
episode I just pulled up.
But I did enjoy like the parts I've seen. What I did really like is the way they animated it. I liked
Oh,
when
yeah, that's
Jake's
funny.
facial expressions would change in like split point second, which I thought was really funny. Obviously, there's a lot of lore to it, which I will give credit because there are a lot of cartoons out there that are not depth. Like there's no depth at all. So like when you guys tell me like there's lore behind this and that, and like you guys show me the episode with Marceline and Princess Bubblegum,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and I like that. Like there's actual story amongst the
Yeah, you're-
characters.
I want to respond to every little bit that you just said there. Like you're hitting a lot of good points. About the style. Like I remember, we went through the cartoon era of
Yeah,
our
Caitlin and I.
generation, and for me, Adventure Time, stylistically wise and story wise, really paved the way for what shows are creating now. Like they're totally
They fucking
inspired by
did.
Yeah.
They're like
Adventure
the
Time.
number one, in my opinion, inspiration. Okay, Adventure Time has a specific humor. So not all the newer shows necessarily make the exact same kind of jokes, but they take inspiration from almost like the pacing or like the kinds
Yes.
of characters, as well as like you said, the style. Like you can tell they're so derivative of Adventure Time. Adventure
Mhm.
Time was so different
Yes.
when it came out. It was nothing like the other cartoons, in my opinion, on Cartoon Network.
Yes.
It was funny, just like Chowder
It
or
was
Flapjack. But
simplified in the animation. Like I had not really been introduced to the bendy arms. Maybe Flapjack had it, but like a lot of characters still had like big hands and like think of Chowder. Think of if you go way back, like Johnny Bravo, like the ways that characters were drawn. It's like they were never drawn just with a simple smiley face, like dot dot.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that was like so. You saw in all the Adventure Time merch, like Finn's just ... smile, which I know is super popular now with the whole Squishmallows. Like when Squishmallows first came out, I always thought they looked like Finn's face.
Now that you look at
Because
them.
I mean, their eyes are bigger than what his proportionally are. He has like little rounded ovals.
But you're not telling me that's like the strawberry girl we just saw in the
Yes.
fucking episode. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
They definitely got obsessed with the 2 eyes and little smile.
Speaking about the story too, it's like before Adventure Time, you either had funny cartoon Billy and Mandy, or any of those fucking cartoons, or it was like Teen Titans or Ben 10. Where
don't get me wrong,
hold on, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say it like that. Or it was primarily like serious, like Teen Titans or Ben
the good
10
Teen Titans.
with, Teen Titans would get chibi sometimes, like they would have funny moments, but Adventure Time was a silly fun show that then developed. That's the difference. It developed into more lore, and it introduced itself as like funny, silly, haha, and then everything had a reason and setup. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like Billy and Mandy and stuff like that did have like a story and lore to it. Just didn't feel like it was as long run as Adventure Time is.
Yeah, I mean, it was incredibly more simpler.
Yeah,
compared to-
because those old cartoons still had a long story or like callbacks to older episodes, but it was never like as deep
like
as
straight up in Adventure Time, each character has their own long ass lore.
That's
Yeah,
another thing.
I'm
I think they
saying-
give a lot of character stories versus like if you said like Ed and Eddie, like Billy and Mandy. Only like certain characters got lore. Where like Adventure Time, like every once in a while, a new character's getting a whole.
You got
backstory.
fucking lore about the worm that lives in Jake's viola.
Yeah,
There's like several episodes, bro.
I think what I'm referencing to, how there's the time before Adventure Time is now when I see shows like Steven Universe, who also had, like Rebecca Sugar, I think wrote the whole show, where she was influencing Adventure Time quite a bit. And then they have Owl House out now, and like I haven't watched a lot of Steven Universe or Owl House, but like I can tell that it's not a just slapstick haha funny show, and that it's
Yeah.
like a pretty developed deep show for children compared to what we grew up watching. And I think Adventure Time was like that big spark, like of hey, kids actually like watching stuff with deep lore and like cool stories. Like
I
they
remember
were
being
interested
a
in
fucking
that.
kid seeing Marceline's lore of how she lost her mother, and like I don't know if Mariah knows any of this, but like Ice King's original.
I know.
lore. And
I cried
that-
and would watch
yeah.
that fucking song that you were
Is
referencing
Ice King her dad?
over.
No.
It's a weird, like, you'll learn. That song you referenced, when that episode came out,
I cried, bro.
the next like week, I had a computer class at my junior year of high school, whatever. And I would watch YouTube all the fucking time instead of doing my classwork. And every time the teacher walked by, I would just pull up YouTube, and I always had Adventure Time songs playing, and I had that one on, and I was like tearing up and stimming in class because it was such a good song.
Stimming, bro. I love stimming to several of the Adventure Time songs.
And I
But-
think they did a good job of like if you're a small kid who's not gonna understand lore, it's still a good show just for like a kid to laugh at.
Oh yeah, literally. If
Yeah.
you don't know what's going on, the colors are cool. And the funny thing is like in several serious episodes, they still have funny ass shit going on, like funny faces or characters tripping or doing some silly stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like in the episode what we were just talking about with Marceline and Ice King.
And you
Ice King's going crazy playing the fucking drums with his shirt off, and he's like joking, like he's going nuts. And I could see like a little kid laughing at that. But then you have like Marceline crying in the corner, like thinking about how. Like, but they're simultaneously singing a song, so like a little kid wouldn't. If they don't know the lore, they'd still like watching the show.
And they're doing good with that even now. Like Bluey, it's a great kids show. Like Shane watches it with Kate, and Kate's like, "How is it so funny?" And Shane's like, "Why am I tearing up to Bluey right now?"
Everybody says it on
got the
TikTok.
DVD.
I want to watch Bluey because I heard it's really good.
Yeah.
We want to watch it, but as well, I got the physical copy because I felt like it will be helpful for on hand whenever I have kids. Like, let's say the most popular shows out when I have children
And it's garbage
are
again. We
Coco
regressed.
Melon fucking
Ugh.
brainwashing
Coco
shit.
Melon.
I want DVDs on hand for when I do allow them to have
Yeah.
screen time. I want something with like healthy
Caitlin
mindsets
talking like
and
she about to be a
conversations.
strict ass mom whenever she talks about it.
No, that sounds like a good thing. I think the things Kaylin are saying are not strict. I think they're actually put.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying it's bad that you're like only giving your kids TV time. It's just funny because like earlier you're like you can stay outside, no video games.
Oh no, that was a joke.
I
of
know.
If I wanted some alone time with Colin.
Yeah.
But back to what we were just talking about.
About
we
how
were just
Adventure
talking
Time
about how the
has
show can
depth.
be watched
Oh.
by kids or whether they understand the lore
Yeah.
or not.
Yeah. I forgot what I was gonna say in response to that, but that's
That's
what you said, Blue, and
okay.
I was like ADHD.
Did you? I know the few episodes we watched, there wasn't as much music because Adventure Time is like really known for having little tiny skit songs, and they're really fucking good all the time. So out of the few songs you saw, what was like some of your guys' favorites, or did you like even how the songs kind of felt like in the show?
The only one I remember is the Door song.
You don't
like
remember
one of the
Finn
best
crying
Jake,
at
and
that
Jake
photo?
singing. Yeah, to
I
the
feel
fire
all
guy.
warmed up inside.
It's very smooth how they transitioned
I want to
into
be your
it.
maid or maybe go on a date.
But I liked the Door
Because
one.
there's a hole. There's a fire inside my
body.
body.
There's a fire inside my heart.
I liked the Door one between those two because there's only two I remember.
When that
Oh,
fucking
and when the
episode
ice guy was
dropped,
playing the instruments, but that one wasn't good.
like the way that they sit there with their jaws dropped at Marceline, like when she's up in the sky and Finn's sitting there looking up at her with his jaw dropped. That is me as a child when that episode aired on my big TV and I was sitting this close to it. I was like, whoa.
I was
So
there
they're
for
like
when that
fully
episode aired.
canonly
Yeah.
together.
Now they are, yeah.
Okay.
But like basically they had a relationship prior
Yeah.
and they fell apart because PB is a literal control freak and Marceline is really unorganized and doesn't take accountability for when she hurts people's feelings.
Yeah.
You know, I would say that she's overtly emotional. She doesn't know how to control her emotions, but at the same time, PB almost like doesn't care about anybody's emotions. So it's like,
that is literal water and earth sign relationship right there.
yeah, I would say so.
Are they like the first like queer relationship on Cartoon Network?
I think they are.
Okay, yeah.
They are because it was
Like
before Steven
canon.
Universe. So
And it was-
yeah.
Yeah.
And they're literally like the golden icon.
Well, I actually too. The writers were going to write Finn being with Princess Bubblegum, but because Rebecca Sugar had such a fucking finger in the business, she's like, She's like, she's so much older than Finn. That does not make sense.
Yeah, and she had a really good point about that because she's just too fucking old for him. She's thousands of years old, by the way, in case you don't know that. That's part of her lore.
Oh, okay.
Marceline is also thousands of years old. So it makes
But also
it makes
just,
sense
like,
where
the-
they fucking know each other.
Yeah, also just the way that they're fucking written is she met Finn when he was a child. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh, well,
I know
yeah,
there's fucking-
besides
yeah.
the other stuff, whether she had Marceline or not to be an option, Princess Bubblegum is just too old for him. Like, she's straight up, when I was watching this as a child, I thought Princess Bubblegum was 19 or older. Literally, and I thought she could have been in her early 20s based off of how they wrote her in the first episodes and stuff. And Finn gave off this, like, 12-year-old, I mean, Jake literally says, yeah, he's 12, bro. He knows how to, in one of the episodes we watched.
Yeah.
So it's like he's just too young. And imagine a 19-year-old right now with a 12-year-old boy. Like, that, it doesn't make sense. So why would it
Yeah,
make
no.
sense in a cartoon if it makes no sense in real life?
I completely agree, and I think that like it was something that she fought for a while because like they had to just start hinting. Like I think that T-shirt episode was the first hint at it, right?
From what I can remember, yeah, it was.
Yeah, and like by the end of the show, you do get a kiss, and you do get like a spoiler.
It's okay.
Not
Not that I was expecting to be like a big thing because it is just a cartoon show. Like they're not going to make it a big
Yeah,
thing. I just
and-
didn't know if it was like fully canon
Yeah.
or like queer coded versus like them being very obvious they're together.
And you got to understand too how long the show aired for. It was a really long running
Oh,
Yeah,
it
it
show.
was
was
like a
10
slow
seasons.
burn, bro.
It was
There's
like
10
from
seasons.
middle school for what I remember. I want to say either late high school or post college that they even started announcing the end. So there was a lot of progression with cartoons happening around that time. There was also Nickelodeon with The Legend of Korra, where I would say it is like canonly gay,
Oh,
but
it
they
is.
had to queer. What'd you say?
Queer coded.
Queer coded. Like by the end of it, they were just holding hands and like. That's all you got.
It's like
Yeah,
implied
you know
stuff, but
they
not
have
open.
a comic released of them kissing.
Yeah, exactly. But that's like, that was the censorship you got from
Yeah.
when we were in
Still
like,
in the
middle
time
school.
of like what can we show on cartoon or like children's show.
What's so
And
cool
now-
about Legend of Korra is I always thought Korra did not vibe with any of the male characters they kept trying to put her with, but as soon as they put her with Asami, I was like, literally, this looks great. Like their chemistry is there, you know?
Yeah, I think that like even today there's still so much hysteria around the idea of showing queer.
Oh, I mean even
Queer relationships.
Owl House, right? That's the one that.
Oh, yeah,
Isn't
there's-
the main character like non-binary and gay?
I don't know about the gender identity, but I do know about the queerness, like the relationships.
Yeah, I saw
and
it had
stuff.
like a lot of issues.
But
But even like I saw, remember I told you I was watching She-Ra, and they're like very much like queer coded, but it was like a whole thing. And I think when
Bro, I
they
shipped
were
them so hard.
producing it, they weren't allowed to say that they were gay. And I think the last season they had them kiss. And the show was already canceled, so they were like, well, ended with a bang.
Yeah, like we're barely out of the woods.
Yeah.
Like there's so many parents that still are fighting against it. They're like, canceling.
It's just not fair because like if they want to say that we're pushing fucking being gay on these kids, it's like, well, you could say you're pushing being straight on these kids when you see them fucking kissing a boy and girl
You're
kissing.
Like, I should kiss a boy because all the girls in the shows I watch kiss boys.
As well as like it's actually so much healthier for a child because if you talk to any queer adult, you'll find out how early they realized they were queer and it had nothing to do with being influenced. It just all came from within, and you're actually confusing them more by not having the representation.
I was watching Phantom of the Opera, no gay relationship. It was a straight relationship, and I was interested in Christine. So like, I didn't need to see two characters kiss to know that I was attracted to a woman. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's almost like they're idiots. Like that's not the only thing that's gonna make them realize that they're gay.
Yeah, and it's like seeing adults like talk about like now we're seeing queer relationships, we're seeing Black people in main character roles, like, and how important it is, and then it's like seeing a child get to simply enjoy that. It's just like how healthy it is to be seen in those spaces, and it's like it's so much more confusing to not have it because then you're just kind of like
you're more confused because you're like, is that normal? Am I weird? This isn't allowed. Like, yeah.
So I, from what I can recall, Cartoon Network at least, I think Adventure Time was the first that did it. And
and I definitely agree. It definitely adds to like the less weirdness. I mean, even like I'm Black in America, and I'm sitting here like, dang, I'm like weird because I don't see this shit in the media, and that's from a Black person already knowing that's normal. Imagine little white kids who don't see Black people in real life.
Marceline's actually Black, which
she's
like,
Black coded.
Well,
wait, I didn't know that.
Black.
Really?
So her human mother and her human self like is dark skinned, but all vampires when they're bitten, they lose all their color.
Actually, I remember seeing her mom thinking she was really tan. I don't think they made her brown enough in the show.
So
cool.
it's like
I was like, she's Black coded, and you're like, she's actually Black.
I thought her mom was Mexican when I'd seen her in the show. Either way, it's chill. I was confused.
Did you know that Knuckles is Black coded in Sonic? Did you know that?
I knew that.
He's Black coded. He's a black hedgehog.
He's Black.
Echidna.
Sorry, he's an echidna.
I'm sorry, but Black coded characters like that, like it's not
uneducated. What?
Okay, a red echidna with white gloves and Knuckles or whatever. And it's just like to say it's Black coded. I don't know, something about it.
Well,
I find it funny.
Oh,
I do find it funny.
But there's a lot of shows that have like obviously no one's human. Even like in the Sonic universe, the movie we watch, there's humans, but like they're not humans. But you can often tell.
I like it when somebody
says
it
enough.
about something.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. I thought it was pretty clearly shown.
No.
That
I'm saying
that
like
it's funny.
I think it's funny too. Like if you think of a cast of characters, and it could be something so like in culture non-Black, and they're like this character's Black. Like it could be a jelly bean.
That's like a headcanon. Then I'm like in my headcanon they're Black.
We're talking about
Black coded means like officially like they are like if Knuckles was a human being, he would be a black man.
Yeah, what we're saying
Sonic
is
and Tails, white.
The way that Knuckles acts is very clearly obvious. Yes.
Squirtle, Black coded.
Hold on. No.
Shut up. That's not what I'm saying.
You're getting it. We're saying that the way he was written, his personality is clearly Black coded. Now, if we have a headcanon, aka what we just want to think, despite how they act. For example, Squirtle, if you want to say he's
if I'm claiming Squirtle,
Black,
it's one of mine.
But we're saying for real, Kaylin, like not as a joke, that he is definitely Black coded as a character.
Like the way his story's written.
I already knew that. I kind of wanted to acknowledge it and not keep moving on. I just didn't want to I didn't have much to say about it. You know what I mean?
I guess I was confused then because I was just like, what do you mean? I think he is clearly Black coded.
We had a conversation about it in Target
or anything like that.
Oh, we did. I forgot we talked about it.
But no, when she said that, I was smiling because I'm like,
she's making a joke about black headcanon, and she went to move on.
Yeah,
it's okay. Squirtle is in fact Black headcanon. My headcanon, he's Black.
I think so.
Bro, I always pick Squirtle. That makes sense. Anyway, back to Adventure Time.
What else do I want to say? Considering you only saw the first 5 episodes, what do you guys think about Tree Trunks?
Who is that?
I thought it was so funny when I watched it as a kid.
Oh, okay. I was confused. I didn't like her.
No, tell me more. I like this. Well, tell me more about
I
what
want
you
to
thought.
debate.
I was okay with like the single episode, but you're like, yeah, she'll be back. I'm like, is her character that important to come back?
She gets married in the show.
She
There's
was
a
just
whole
this
wedding.
little elephant that was like low key. Like I'm
She
like,
gets married to a pig.
like yeah, Jake was right. She was annoying.
Full circle.
She was in the way. I was like, I don't blame you for getting mad, Jake. I really don't.
What did you think about her
No, it was,
seductress?
Yeah.
Finn was
Also,
doing it.
the part where after she cried and the makeup was still on her face the rest of the episode, I was like,
appreciated that.
no.
Because
When
that's
cartoons
realistic.
keep that consistency where they don't, because there's a lot of times in cartoons where they just like all of a sudden you're in your startup
They're all
outfit
dry
again.
after they were in the
Yeah.
bathroom.
When
Yeah.
the fucking
But,
like,
like-
Roadrunner explodes the coyote and then he's fine in the next episode.
That's
I
a
don't know,
different
some shit.
sense of humor.
No, think about it.
But like I did appreciate the consistency of keeping her. But I was like, can she just wipe her fucking face?
Oh, you
She was doing
she
her
could
little
have at least wiped it
dances.
so then her face went back to
Yeah.
normal. But instead, she ate the apple with her smudged ass makeup.
Yeah, she's like, I'm just being
I liked
seductive.
when she was trying to be seductive. It was funny. You
I
didn't see
thought
it
it was
coming
funny.
because
She was an old lady.
This little
Sweet old lady that made apple pie.
Coming from an older perspective now, though, when I look back at it, the thing is, Finn is 12, and she is not joking with him when she's like,
Yeah.
"I like you." And Tree Trunks is supposed to be like viewed as this old woman. Think about it, like your grandma makes you pies. So as I've started to watch the show now, I feel like I've noticed that they kind of subject Finn to a lot of like unconsented flirting from older women a lot of the time. Like other princesses.
Even when the
that are-
princess, when the princess
like-
was flirting with him, the slime.
the slime is I don't know the slime's confirmed ages, so I hope none of our viewers come for me. But I don't know if I'm like overreacting, but like seeing how Tree Trunks was flirting with him and she was being dead ass serious, I'm
Was
always
she
like,
flirting with Finn?
yes.
I remember flirting with
She
the
was like,
monster.
I'll give you a kiss on your cheek, and then
No,
Jake was like,
yeah.
just let her.
Also, in the continuing episode that we haven't watched, she tells Finn how she just wants to be with him and that like she's in love with him, and Finn was like, we are just friends. I don't want to be with you. We'll pull up the episode and you can see it. And she gets really upset. She's like, I did all this for you. Like, why? I've been thinking about you this entire time. I've been stuck in this gem kingdom.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's weird.
So at the time, I was always like, ha, unrequited love. He don't like you, Tree Trunks. And I look back at it now, I'm like, damn, that's like high key, like
Weird.
and it gives me almost like icky vibes, like somebody pushing themselves on you, you know?
Yeah.
She's like, Finn, give me a kiss.
I also
and
like
he's
that-
like, ah.
They lived in a little treehouse that was cute. I thought it was funny. I was like, I would live there.
I know, isn't that cool?
Are
What
you
a
like-
There's
cool-ass
no adult
concept
supervision.
to make, your main character who's already a child live in a treehouse. Like, that's their house.
Yeah.
You would be the worm in the viola.
I want to be BMO.
You would be the worm in the viola. Sorry, that's who you can.
His viola says
So
toots.
they live? They don't live in the Candy Kingdom though. They just live in this random tree.
They live in like
treehouse.
these grass fields where the treehouse is.
I would live there.
I would live there too. I always thought the treehouse was so cool. I always wanted to have like a 3D like model of the entire inside and what it
Yeah.
looked like.
So obviously I don't know the lore, but like, how do Jake and Finn know each other?
I'll tell you. Okay, so Finn gets dropped off in the woods by his parents, which is an entire different lore about what happened to them. Okay,
Mhm.
he's an orphan in the woods crying, and he boomed on himself. He pooped on himself, and that's what they called it. They called it he boomed.
Okay.
Jake's father, I forget his name, with Jake's mother come walking into the woods and they're holding Jake as a baby, or they're by themselves. I don't remember. And they're like, "This is a child. Somebody left their child." And he's like, "Why is he crying?" And he picked him up. He said, "You boom on yourself? Why are you crying, sir?" And then the mom's like, "Let's take him in. Come on, he could be our baby too." And he was like,
gosh.
he's like, "All right, lucky sir, you're our son." And he takes him home and he raises him alongside Jake. And they've been raised as brothers. They're not friends. They're brothers in the show.
Okay.
So they're related to each other.
Interesting.
In regards to they call each other brothers,
Bro.
Yeah, so that's how they meet.
And then
That's
how was BMO introduced? I actually know they're the trio.
He has a creator.
BMO, I think they just found BMO and decided to live with him. But BMO has a whole lore to him, and he has a creator that he ran away from.
Interesting.
And the
That
creator
makes
made
sense.
like
BMO
800
looks like a
different
little
kinds of
innocent
BMOs.
guy that like
I'll show you.
was forced to be alive.
Yeah, it's crazy because
The mic is picking up nothing.
when you watch Adventure Time, it's like the side characters, like BMO, for example. You just watch him; he makes funny little jokes. He has a huge ass lore. At the end of the entire show, he becomes king of the world.
Yeah, you did tell me that BMO was the only one that lives.
Mm-hmm. And he talks about his dead ass friends, and he doesn't even remember their names anymore.
That's kind of funny.
He said, "I used to know someone like you, and it's the new reincarnated versions of Finn and Jake.
Aww.
Does
And-
Willow Smith voice one of
I
them?
just said that was funny, but now it's sad.
No, the show gets really sad.
I think so.
There's a whole episode, new episode in the, what is it called? Is it Adventure Time Adventures of Ooh? It's like they did a spin-off
Yeah,
series.
I've seen
recently,
the spin-off series.
And it was Jake and Finn, one of the episodes where they were dying, and Finn was choosing to be reincarnated again, and Jake was like, "No, dude, I'm gonna let you do your thing. I think I'm ready for the eternal sleep or something." And then he sees Finn leaving, and he's like, and he gets up and he's like, "No, I can't leave Finn." Almost like they're like these soulmates that need to be with
Yeah.
each other all the time. And they reincarnate as the little cat and one of Jake's descendants, one of his grandchildren.
Yeah.
I think that is Willow Smith.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Because I remember seeing that as like a commercial that she was like on it.
That's cool.
And I think she sings the opening. And viewers, I'm not an expert. I say a lot of wrong things on the podcast. Just a heads up.
Somebody said, "What what mental disorder does BMO have?" While BMO does experience feelings deep down similar to his close friends,
It's on Reddit.
no, he still is a robot on the outside, which has kickstarted a lot of inner turmoil that has caused him to be almost borderline sociopathic at times. So there's this episode of BMO doing his own thing, and he talks to himself in the reflection. He thinks he's talking to another BMO. And whenever he sees himself in like water reflection or in mirrors or whatever, he talks to him and he thinks it's his like twin brother or something that's trying to take his place. Like, he's
Interesting.
crazy.
That's pretty cute. For a little sociopathic robot.
Mo explains BMO's backstory, revealing that BMO was created to take care of and have fun with Mo's son. However, Mo never had children, and so he released BMO into the wild to find another family. Mo updates BMO's drivers and introduces it to his families of Mo's. So there's this guy named Mo who made all the BMOs. Okay, there's tons of BMOs. They're all different sizes and colors, and he made them for, I guess, his children if he were to have a family, but he never did. So he just let BMO out into the real world.
Good for BMO. He deserves it.
Let me show you his family. It's cool. BMO family.
BMO.
You know that
family.
Jake has puppies with Lady Rainicorn?
No.
Yeah, and she literally has like I think the only English
They're all
thing
funny
she says
shapes and
in
everything.
Yeah.
the only English words she says in the whole show is she's like, "I'm pregnant," and what does he go? He goes, "Puppies."
Yeah. It's
I
at
know,
the
like
end of the
Scarface.
episode, he goes, "Puppies."
They don't keep the translator on her forever.
No, I think he got sick of. I think he likes her own voice.
Oh, I think he learned Korean is what ended up happening. Because this is what happens. He ends up learning how to understand her, and when she speaks, Finn will say, "What'd she say?" And he'll tell him what he says.
Oh, that's funny.
Mm-hmm.
Kaylin, what's something you felt about watching Adventure Time?
Rewatching them, I know you and I, when we first moved into these apartments, we had a kick where we restarted watching them just for the fun of it. And I said back then, I'm like, I really want to rewatch them all and go all the way through. And it's really hard with real life, but I swear the next time I go on a crochet kick, I will be probably just playing them in the background, just like when you were a kid and you had it on. Obviously, I paid more attention to some episodes than others, but it's something I could totally do. 10 minutes each episode, just played in the background. I'm doing shit like painting or
Yeah, I didn't realize each
crocheting.
episode was
I
like
could
10
totally
minutes.
get through them all because I never got to finish it either.
I know I didn't watch like the last 3 seasons or maybe 4 seasons because the
We
crazy
had high
thing
school and
is,
college to attend to.
yeah, when I started watching Adventure Time, I was in middle school, and it was I watched it when it came out.
Yes.
Like I was every week watching a new episode. It was only like, I think season 1 was out by the time I had watched it. So I really grew up alongside Adventure Time. So from what I remember, it was like the end of the arc of Flame Princess, where she had rejected Finn and she didn't want to be with him anymore. And like I told you, Mariah, you saw the episode where he meets Flame Princess and they're so into each other, so
But
cute.
she's evil.
She's evil. Whoops, I just burped. But I got to the point where the relationship was so on and off again, that she decided, I don't want to be with you anymore, and she falls in love with Cinnabon. He's a big cinema roll.
I figured.
And he's really,
Why do you say it
and
like that?
he's really dumb, but like they're in love or whatever. And Finn never gets over her. Like he kind of, I mean, I think he might if we watch the rest of it, but like from where I was watching, several episodes later, he's still not over her. Like he'd get booty hurt
It's
thinking
hard to
about
get over that first love.
He's like, I lost to Cinnabon.
Cinema bun.
Does
Like,
she
what the
stay
fuck?
with him till the end of the show?
She
too?
does. She does. And he is eternally blue when he's over there, so he doesn't burn to death. You know, like how what's his face spits on you.
Yeah.
I spat on
What
ya.
was his name?
The fireman? I don't fucking know.
He
I don't
said
think
his
he had a
name.
name.
No, he did. I remember it.
Mr. Firecat, man.
He said Calzo or something. I don't know. It was fucking funny. And he walked like a cat.
Mhm.
Pretty funny.
I like how he like told him he didn't have to spit on him, but he did.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I got super nostalgic. While, like, I would say watching
Me
the first
too.
two episodes, I'm usually fine. Like when we're just watching it from the beginning, I'm fine. You start showing me episodes that I remember getting so excited and like emotional about, I get actually sad.
I get transported back to 2013.
Mhm.
Because 2013-14 was like kind of like right when Adventure Time was getting so popular, and they were already like 4 seasons in. So like we had met Flame Princess, you know, like they had definitely
You don't see Adventure
They
Time
started-
shit in a Hot Topic anymore.
they started changing the style to be a little bit more like, if I showed one of the first episodes to you right now, Mariah, and then I showed you one from episode 4, you could tell the animation style has changed and got almost like,
You mean season 4?
oh, I meant season 4, not episode 4. You'll see it's gotten more like they're in a rhythm, like shit's a little bit more consistent, but it's still funny and it's very like clean. I like it. And I feel like they had figured out what their style was, what their humor was, and that it was going to be a serious show. And like, so when I watch some of those episodes, not the first 5, but like, you know, My Way, well, it's actually called Another Way, or like, you know, the Meeting Flame Princess one, I get transported back to 2013, 2014, when I was watching these episodes come out and watching it get popular, because fucking Hot Topic had a whole section. You know how they'll have a section for like fucking Harry Potter or, you know, My Hero Academia to like a little turntable.
Yeah.
They had a whole one for Adventure Time. I bought
Yeah, all the
an
time.
Adventure Time, what are those things called? The hoodies without a hood?
Crew neck.
I got a crew neck, and it was a Christmas crew neck with each one of them. They had a Christmas sweater on. Do you remember when the Christmas episode dropped? When they all had Christmas sweaters, and they hung out with Marceline and Princess Bubblegum, and they all had funny, you know, ugly Christmas sweaters, and Ice King kept trying to break into their Christmas party. It was cute.
I genuinely think the only reason why I didn't, because I mean, you're telling me like it was you were watching it like 2013, 2014. I probably would have watched Adventure Time, but I think I just wasn't watching TV then because I was so busy with sports. Like I don't even remember consuming that much media during that time in my life.
Yeah, all I was doing was cheer and literally watching Adventure Time.
Yeah,
That's all I was doing.
I was doing
I was just
basketball all
watching
year
Adventure
round,
Time.
which turned out to
I
be
did cheer all
illegal.
year round too.
No, that's on
Um,
top of my other sports. Like I was doing basketball during
Oh,
volleyball season.
you were doing multiple sports.
Yeah.
I think that this is the first week in a while where I actually was feeling some post-credit depression while
Oh
watching
yeah,
the show.
because we felt so old watching it too.
This is your
It's
first
that
week in a while.
nostalgic. Yeah, no, I hadn't seen The Outsiders before, Mariah.
Not
Sit
that,
your
but
ass
like-
down.
I meant like
Interview
Ooh,
with the Vampire.
ooh, shut the fuck
Whoa.
up.
After the
Shut
vampire
the
ended,
fuck up.
I was sad. You were sad when it ended.
Yeah, but we're talking about a specific kind of post-credit depression.
Okay.
One where you feel intense nostalgia
Certain
because
kind
you
of
already
flavor.
watched it. Like after I watched,
I was
Bro,
sitting there
straight up-
thinking about pedophilia and how it's weird at the end of last week. That's
after
what I thought.
watched Interview with the Vampire, I was in a post-credit
We were like,
depression
we need to read the
for
book.
several days.
We need
We were like,
more.
let's read the book. But anyways, this
Mm-hmm.
one just transported me back to a version of myself that I am not anymore.
Yeah.
But like I was so autistic about Adventure Time and several other things. But Adventure Time was like my brand. Like everybody knew that was my favorite show. I think a lot of people in school did too.
Even I knew it was your favorite when I met you. I was like, this bitch. I'm kidding.
I just loved it. It
The
definitely
writings-
imprinted on me.
The writing too, the way that they end things or they show, they're like, hey, these characters had a happily ever after, but also like it was still kind of a sad ending because everybody does die, and then like there's also
That's life.
I don't
That's
think
life.
okay, first of all, I don't think they needed to fucking do that because let me tell you something. They did an episode with My Little Pony about them fucking getting old and
That was
Twilight
dumb.
Princess just kicking off her immortality. And I really didn't like that because when Adventure Time started to end, and I won't say a lot of it because it starts getting it's so complicated, right? Basically, we start seeing like the end towards Finn's life and how he's gotten older and all that stuff. I just felt like they were really killing off a piece of my childhood. I was just like, you were hurting me so bad. I would have been completely okay never seeing these characters get old or knowing that they died. Or, you know, I loved the whole full circle thing, like them reincarnating into different characters. But I don't know. There was just so much pain and shit that happened in the larger lore of Adventure Time that
I
you don't
didn't say-
know. That
Yeah.
makes me so sad to think that they felt the need to have to do that.
I'm sure that's
I-
why, because the show, like you told me before, like there were so many real moments that maybe they were like, we should end it like this because it is so
like
raw
I
and real.
appreciate it. I think it was the best way to end it. It hurt me though. Like
you're
I'm like
you're
you guys.
congrats, but I'm sad.
I'm gonna
Yes.
bring it back around to my point because I was going to get to the song that BMO sings, and when they released that at the end, right when I was like, listen, I was listening to that song a lot around like beginning of college time. Let me tell you, first of all, I went through many phases of just transformations
beat?
as a person. The
Everything stays.
No,
right
it's
where
not-
you left it.
no, not that one. It's
Are you sure?
You said, are you sure?
I could be wrong. I haven't watched it in years, guys. So I know I'm showing this episode this week, but it's something I'm not actually a pro in, and I need to rewatch it. It's just
Yeah,
my,
we can.
it's
realistically,
definitely
we can watch 10 seasons.
my
in a week.
favorite childhood show. It changed me a lot.
shut up.
Okay.
Everything
Do
stays
you hear this, Kinsey?
right. Please stop. Please.
My eye
Right
itches.
where you left it.
Kinsey does this thing where I rub my eye and you can
Everything
hear the
stays,
liquid in my
but
eyelid,
it
basically.
still
And Kinsey
changes.
does not like it, but like I
Ever
can't
so
help it.
slightly, daily and nightly.
What do you want me to do about it?
in
Stop
little-
singing.
Fuck you.
I think it's Time Adventure. Hold on, let me read the lyrics. Because
Wait, read the
this
lyrics
shit-
because I think
hold
you're
on.
right.
Let me make my point and then I'll read the lyrics. When the song came out right around college time, so I'm saying goodbye to middle school, I'm saying goodbye to high school, I'm saying goodbye to childhood, and this song just like I feel like for me it put it in a time capsule and I said goodbye to that time in my life.
You. I was
Unwillingly.
about to cry.
You heard it after high school?
This song.
After high school?
Yes. All right. Time is an illusion that helps
wait, I
things
got it.
make sense.
Time is an illusion.
We don't
That
have
helps make sense.
so we are always living in the
In the
present tense.
present
It
tense.
seems unforgiving when a good thing ends. But you and I will always be back then.
You and I will always be back then.
That's sad.
You and I
As-
will
and then it
always
says
be best friends.
singing will happen, happening happened, will happen, happening happened, which like it's like this
Do
you
you
know
even know this fucking song, bitch?
Obviously
she's
not.
saying, "Hey, this will happen. It's happening. Now it's happened."
But
Like,
it
it's
will
over.
happen again, though.
Yeah.
Like you'll be happy again.
Yeah,
just not
and
now.
we will happen again and again because you and I will always
Stop
be back
it!
then.
Stop
I know.
it! You're hurting me.
I know.
That song is really good, and the thing is, I think it's a continuation of the song I was just singing. Like it's like when they released Everything Stays, it was almost like the prelude to like accept that this fucking show is gonna end eventually.
Yeah.
And then they ended with such a strong ass
and
note.
hang each moment up like pictures on the wall inside a billion tiny frames so that we could see it all. It will look like and then it will, the chorus again will happen again. Cause like then
Fucking put
the
me in a
fucking
coffin
picture
right
I'm
now.
tearing up. Like when I think about my childhood, all your core memories, you hang them up on the wall, like they're gone,
We have
like
to
they've
put the
happened.
song on now.
But at one point they had happened.
Why not?
Copyright, girl.
Well, after this, I'm gonna make Mariah listen to it
And you
'Kay.
guys go listen to Time
You go listen
Adventure.
to
You guys might have had time
and think
Adventure.
about how we all age and eventually die.
The only song that made me
But we'll be
sad-
reincarnated, and guess what? I will come back with you guys, and I'll do
I'ma
this
think
all
about
over
that in
again.
the spiritual realm if I would like to come back with Kaylin.
Come on, you guys.
As long as I come
you got a
back
few
as
more
Miss
lessons you need
Jupiter
to
again,
learn.
I'll come back again.
Nah, bro. Anyway.
I think I can make it first.
Make what?
What?
So I said you definitely have some lessons you still need to learn. So we'll definitely come
bro?
back at least one more time. And I said I'll
You might have
probably
lessons
make it
too.
first.
Fuck off.
What,
That's what I'm
what about me? I think I'm pretty set. I
Anyway.
think I could choose next time if I want to or not.
We've only lived a quarter of our life.
Kayla knows what's up. Mariah, though, she coming back.
She said
You coming
she
back
said-
too, bitch. Anyway.
sure?
Yeah, I
She's
am
like-
sure.
She's like, you guys can't decide this in my early 20s. Like, you got to give me the rest of my life before you can critique whether or not I've learned this life or
Yeah,
not.
we'll see. Anyway, when I was
There's
a
still
kid-
time for you to come back this lifetime, Raya. We'll see.
I'll kill all of you.
No, I'm still thinking about this fucking song Kayla
When
just
I was a
pulled out
kid,
my
I
ass.
cried to the High School Musical 3 ending because I saw them graduating and I got sad and I was literally in 8th grade.
That's what the song
That's what
for
I'm
me
saying.
and Kinsey.
That's what I was saying. That song was for you guys, but that's the song that made me cry.
Kaylin?
Because they were like, high school wasn't meant to last forever, and they were all crying. It made me sad.
Sorry, I
Yeah.
turned this into a sad week, actually.
When Adventure Time
No
is
one's
brought up
listening to
when
me.
I'm with you,
We
I heard you about High School Musical.
Sorry, I saw her holding a thought. I'm trying to hop around. It's hard to. It's a trio, not a duo, and I have a hard time with my ADHD.
Mariah, continue thought.
No, it's okay. I ended it, but no one acknowledged it.
Okay, I didn't know if you had anything else to say. Why doesn't keep talking?
I did acknowledge it. I said that's just like us with this song, and then
Caitlin.
Kinsey was like, "Yeah," and then went off. I'm having a hard time. I feel
Caitlin,
embarrassed.
I'm gonna keep talking about what I wanted to say. Okay.
Okay.
I was saying that every time Adventure Time is brought up, or we either watch episodes, which I've had this feeling with Mariah when we watch nostalgic stuff that I didn't know you were Mariah when I was that age. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even know you fucking existed. But when I watch those episodes with you where we talk about certain episodes, I feel like I experienced that episode with you at that age. And
That's so
there's
crazy.
something about Adventure Time that is connected to our friendship that is so special to me. And it's so sad to watch the show when I'm with you because I feel like I'm literally actively dying when I'm with you. I feel like we're just going, not like falling.
No,
I'm
we
saying like we
literally
get
are, like-
older to die eventually, you know?
And we all have our things like that. That is definitely my thing, and I can feel us going through those motions together. And then when you and Mariah get on y'all's Disney Channel kick with High School Musical or
Oh my god, High School Musical.
y'all's bands or whatever, I'm like, whoa, that's Liam.
Is that
Oh my
Liam?
gosh.
The inside joke for that one, people, is
We talked about it before,
I
but
always get all the over. Oh my god,
we talked about before how we're showing Kayla One Direction because she didn't get to experience it.
So whenever we talk about a boy band or something,
they
that
always
we
be
listen,
like-
yes, and I always get them all mixed up.
So her default is saying Liam, which is actually funny that Liam's the default.
yeah.
Well, yeah, he's like the main guy, but I was genuinely.
You just
confused
offended
that
so
one
many
day
One
was-
Directioners by saying he was the main guy.
Okay, he was supposed to be the main guy in the first several
You
songs.
told me. Sorry.
We've only
Mariah did not follow up with her One Direction PowerPoint she's been making me, and
Yeah.
I was on PowerPoint 1. So
Probably
sorry for the
album
last
one.
time
Yeah,
that I
thank you.
studied up in class that Liam was the main
Caitlin's
guy
on
from
X
the way
Factor
she
One
pitched
Direction,
it.
and they did pitch Liam to be the main guy, but
You
he is
pitched him
not.
to be the main guy
because
in the
they
class.
did. I'm not saying
So
because I
you
alone
can't-
did.
You can't say that I enraged the
I
fans.
did.
when
It was just
I'm-
funny hearing your statement. I was like, people are gonna be offended that you said Liam was the main guy.
You know what? It's like your history teacher when he doesn't talk enough about slavery, and you're just ignorant to
Yeah,
it. Like
that's
I just
true.
am ignorant to One Direction because my history teacher is not doing a good job right
We
now.
haven't moved on to
Where is
listen to
class
yet.
2?
Listen, just don't ever say any of them are the main guys, even if I tell you, because people will be offended.
How far are we doing? Can I ask any questions or no?
If you'd
Yeah,
like
you can ask
to.
me.
May- It sucks because, guys, we only watched a few
We can
episodes.
end it if
Mariah
you
doesn't
want.
really know a lot about the lore, and I want her to enjoy the show. So we'll probably
It's kind of a hard one to watch all of it. You know what I'm saying? We can only really talk about it in a general sense, or we
Okay,
can show
one
her
last
certain
question for Mariah.
chains.
Yeah.
Who did you think was the funniest character to you in regards to their facial expressions, the way they moved, and their
I
actual
liked
jokes?
Jake.
He
I
is
liked
fucking
the way he
hilarious.
moved. I like that he grows and shrinks and he moves funny.
Remember when he said, "You think what did he say? He said, "You think the fire goblin or something is sexy?" And Finn said, "No, not like sexy hot. Like he's just hot." Like, do you remember that?
Yeah, it was funny. I liked when he did that thing with his leg that you were talking about last night when he was like large and he was like,
Ding, 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 ding.
yeah, I was like,
Walking over to
oh,
where
yeah,
he
he's
stretched
just-
his leg out.
and I've seen episodes before you showed that to me, and Jake's always really funny the way he moves and talks. His mannerism is funny.
I was not a very ragey kid at all, so I did not find it as funny as when I was a kid. But like seeing Finn
Go
get as
crazy.
angry and crazy,
That's
batshit
what I'm talking
crazy
about
as
with
he
the
does,
animation, his
I look
facial
over at
expressions.
Kinsey and I'm like, oh my god, I did not know you as a child, but now that I know you, that is you.
That's what I
like,
was talking about.
when he's
hate to
like
look
like fucking screaming like
His face gets red. and he
at
screams.
Ice King through the gate.
He's-
Like, or-
That's why when I was like, I
crazy.
love the animation. Everything they did with Jake when he was, or with Finn when he talked, like his face would move every point second. His face is a different reaction. It's hilarious.
Actually, it's so funny is that's what I would autistically focus on
Yeah,
in the show.
we know.
Is that I loved how he just reacted to things. Kaylin, give me your best Finn scream for the end of the pod.
you do it better. Wait, would we share it? Would we share it?
What?
Would we share it?
Oh, would I share it?
Would
Would we? No, you gotta ask.
You
it.
did
Oh,
share
oh,
it.
oh, oh. Would you share it? Would you
Yes.
share it, friends?
Yeah, I'm sure why
Yes.
not.
When you watch more,
Yeah,
we'll get
yeah. Like
you to
obviously
say
I'm
yes.
not fully committed, but I mean,
She's not fully
it's-
committed. We
I
can
don't
understand
see
that.
why not.
Kaylin, what about you?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. We should, guys, since we just watched the episode, can we listen to like a whole playlist of the songs? Not tonight, but like another day that we hang out, we
Uh-huh.
go driving around, we listen to them.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
We did that
sounds-
like
Kaylin and I would do that
all
all the
of
time,
sophomore
and
year.
junior year.
Yeah. It was fun.
So Finn and Jake set out to find a new home. It's gonna be tough with a kid and a dog on their own. It's a little house. Oh, Finn's sticking his foot in. What are you sharing next week, Mariah?
Despite Kaylin not
Stop
wanting
it!
to.
Stop touching your eyeball!
It's
Please!
so bad, though.
I hurt. I hate
It's
it.
just so bad. Despite Kaylin not wanting to watch horror films,
We're going to, though.
we're watching Final Destination.
Yay!
It's really cheesy though. Like it's not really good special effects.
I think about death a lot.
Yeah, so do I.
it's not
just
good
embrace it,
special
man.
effects.
Why can't I think about death in an Adventure Time reincarnation way instead of
Because-
it's going to come
But
and
I'm
get
gonna
me
be honest-
inevitably.
Oh, yeah, because that is.
I'm
the
gonna be
movie.
honest. It's kind of funny though because the special effects are really bad.
But like the idea of death, it's
The
still
problem
coming for
is
me.
that
It's coming for you
It is.
too.
And when it's my time to go, I'll go.
I have no choice.
Exactly.
I can kick and scream
So
and I
the
have no
thing
choice.
is though, the thing about Final Destination is I really enjoy.
Yeah, you wait.
I think you'll enjoy it because it is really cheesily done. Like it's not like this traumatic thing. They die in like really crazy, like unbelievable ways in all the
And guess
movies.
what? Whatever unbelievable way that is, now when I'm driving behind a log truck, I'm gonna be like,
You should
that's
already
gonna
think that
fucking.
way. But no. In the movie, it's like crazy, like weird coincidences that aren't normal. You'll see it because it's badly edited. But the movies are really good because there's also 5 of them. They all tie together really
I'll
well.
never use
which
an escalator.
I'm
again.
only gonna
I'll
make you-
never unplug something
That's
again.
funny because those are both ways people have died in one of the movie.
I actually
I'm-
did not know about the plug when I knew about the
Yeah.
escalator.
You knew what the escalator one's funny. But I'm gonna show you, and then I'm gonna make Kinsey watch all of them. I'm not gonna make you watch all of them. But
Did he get stuck in the elevator?
I don't know. I
Girl's
just
shoelace. It's in like the 4th or 5th movie. This girl's shoelace gets stuck
I
in
wear
the escalator,
Converse. I'm
and
not.
the escalator's like breaking and falling apart. And her shoelace is stuck in the escalator. So when the escalator starts destroying itself because it's broken, her leg goes into the machine.
Yeah, but it's such a thin area.
No, her aglet of her shoelace gets stuck in the parts of the escalator, and they're trying to get out. But I told you it's really unrealistic how they die because death is coming for them.
Yeah, I'd have
So-
to see how it physically pans out.
And
'cause-
even if it's unrealistic, I'm telling you that's how a lot of their deaths are because they're just trying to show like
oh, death's like doesn't
death
matter how
made it
unrealistic it is,
happen.
bitch. You take a shower, I'll hang you in the shower like that one guy.
Yep. So yeah, we're gonna watch the first one, and maybe you'll like it and you'll watch more. But regardless, I am showing Kinsey the rest of them so she can see the full circle.
Yes. There's a full circle.
Yeah,
feel
there's a full
dizzy.
circle
Oh
moment.
my god.
We love a callback. But
Feels
yeah,
unconsensual. I'm gonna show you guys the Rescuers Down Under too.
Good night. I
we'll
have to
talk
floss
to
my
you
teeth
later.
now.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, is the red button or the square?